Thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same without wasting a single second of your time. Bada bing, bada boom, we go into the charts. So yesterday's live stream took place between this gap and this gap, and we caught a little bit of this downside play leading into the ABC of that cloud rejection, and then caught that after a little bit of sideways chop, caught that upside play. And just as we were going off the stream, what happened then? Well, we were having some little nukes appear, as you may recall, towards the end of the stream, and we followed them up in the Discord group, and sure enough, they just came tumbling down the mountain, down into the lows to test this 265 support structure down here at 265. We had on our charts a support level that has been respected so far. This has been on there for some time, I believe. All right, and where are we going now? Well, this is the 455 level, is a previous week high from about 3 weeks ago. If we go to the weekly charts, we don't have an impression of where it wants to go, but let's just say over here, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, a month ago, we had a high level up here on the week, 460 even. So perhaps it is wanting to come up to that level now. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back into the charts, take a look at the contract session delta for the day and get ready for the open here. Got some fair value gaps below, which we have yet to see taken back. That was a nice little gap down. Let's go see what's in store for the news. I heard something about FOMC, so let's just make sure. There was a CPI data release about 30 minutes ago. I suppose that was this little drop-a-roo here, so we could be continuing down to the downside after knocking out some contracts. If we look at the session delta, negative 1K in sell side imbalance right now, as they took out some sell side with that drop there. Went all the way down into 2K, 2,000 contracts taken at the drop, and then started to take back 600 in buy side here, 194, 409, 370 in buy side, and then now they're coming back 244 into the sell side, 73, and so they're coming back as that C wave starts to occur. If we use this as a quick trend-based fib, as we do, you can kind of see where this wants to go, perhaps as we break the 236 and head down into the ABC land. Just what I see first and foremost right now. Let's go to the chat to see how everyone is doing. How's everyone doing out here in YouTube land? Booyah. It's annoying because this Optima sub 1 minute time frame formula, I updated something inside of it and it brought something to the attention of a loophole that was undetected by TradingView thus far for that indicator, which allowed normal users to see below the 1 minute time frame, which they now cannot do without paying for the premium. So that was kind of irritating to hear as a response from TradingView, that they were repairing the loophole that was previously available and which gave more functionality to my indicator here for some users. So now it requires them to basically upgrade, which kind of is annoying. But this is one of the cool benefits of the Optima here, is you're seeing this averaged 5 time frame beneath the 1 minute, 1 second, 5 second, 15, 10, 15, 30, without having to pay for, originally without having to pay for the sub 1 minute. I guess TradingView saw a way to monetize and just took that opportunity, unfortunately. So this is a way to gauge the bullishness of the recovery or not. Is this going to be the B consolidation to take it lower? Getting a momentum dot telling you not to enter long. And looking at the thickness of this 4 minute cloud, looks like it could still be continuing to that downside path. Let's go back to the ATOS platform here. $78 sell side contracts entering into this chop suey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 15 minutes of sideways action thus far. About 15 minutes for the open. Let's go make sure there's no other news on the horizon. Looks like tomorrow the PPI but that's about it for today by the looks of it. The CPI release has occurred. News has been absorbed. Let's go into the Ninja Trader charts with the Renko here. Ooh. Go ahead and turn on our heads-up display too while we're at it. If you're interested in these indicators, once again, the link is in the description for more. MomentumMaster.info. Scroll down to features. You can toggle all of the components as they appear, particularly the trend cloud, baselines, stochastic array, and so on, and so much more. The nukes that are starting to play out here are the stochastic array, by the way, so we'll go back and show you that showcase here. So leading into the news, you would have been privy to these nukes leading up to this drop here, telling you that the fatigue to the upside has been extended quite handsomely, and possibly look for short positions. We had that appear yesterday up here. Getting some bearish divergence on the RSI here, extending all the way to the 5-minute chart, leading into this. What's up, cat? My cats get very needy at night. It's kind of weird. They're very solitary or content with being in solitude until it gets to be the nighttime, and then they're like, "Where are you going? Where are you going? Wait, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, what about me?" Kissing the cloud here on the 32nd, and the 1 minute started to weirdly invert here while you're beneath it. Was an oddball drop, so trying to reflect the volume shift of the sell-off. It's all volume weighted. Getting a rejecting off the cloud here at 388, and the 236 idea so far. Trend dots on the 4 minute still holding to the downside. So where were we? We were going back to the Ninja charts. These are Renko charts. We were talking yesterday about coming back to this brown settlement line, and sure enough we did, and bounced off the settlement line into higher highs. So that was basically where we went down to, the 270. So now our settlement line is at the current level we're at right now. Do we continue back to the open settlement line here, the previous one at 270, and sweep this low? Or do we start to continue and make higher highs? 32 bar is neutral as of this moment. The 16 bar is slightly bearish. Eight bar getting rejection off that 200, which is the 50 on the 16, possibly continuing lower as you're bearish on these two ideas. For that C leg further down, this is noise reduction, A, B, C potential. It reduces the noise, but it also takes out important elements like this cloud data that is ever so accurate for this potential entry of a short within those little spikes of those bars of the Renko. So, you know, reducing noise is good sometimes, but not when it comes to entry ideas. sometimes. It's good at catching trends and holding trends, potentially. What's up, cat? Nasdaq 100 today? Yes, sir. Came back to the equilibrium of that impulse down. "10 minutes until the New York Open." $247 buys entered there, which is to say longs were interested at this level. Definitely no shorts were getting stopped out here at 378. So they could take this little 247 contract to a ride to the downside. I don't understand what this 247 buyer thinks that the market is going to do from now, but they could just take their money for a ride right now, as the C wave looks to continue, in my mind. Let's go ahead and adjust the ATM strategy here. Let's see, make sure it is on a scalper mode for the first one. Let's just go test this out really quick. Let's just test it out, wet the whistle a little bit, take some of that hesitation out of the air. Got our water, got our coffee, we're ready to go. Stopping at 119 contracts there of this 247 perhaps. Nine minutes. We are at 2,000 contracts to the sell side imbalance here on the session. Do we continue to the acceleration down into these 353 levels and so on to go into some of these pools, particularly retest of the settlement 9 from yesterday and sweep of the lows, and some of the pools they've been building down below as well in the fair value gap zone. They have hit the sells already here, so having a spike up, if they're going to continue, would make more sense for a genuine long to short to occur. They'd have to go up and refuel first. This 247 is what caused me to see them kind of retrace into their liquidity to test the resolve first. So we'll see. We're just doing a little sample trade here just to get everything going. coming higher and going to stop me out there. So they stopped out about 172 and more in sell side and then came back up. Coming back into that cloud rejection zone. It's rejected 1, 2, 3 times on this turn to the downside here, creating a descending channel of price action. Six minutes. Good to be flat before the open. Never know which spike in the range will start off the kickoff. Algorithmic drift lower. Indecision on the 4-minute, possibly closing in 2 minutes 47 seconds. Starting to get a trend dot to the upside, retracement into some of these sell side contracts. That 247 position that opened up there in longs, starting to get some profit now. And technically on the 4-minute, you've been holding the baselines which have crossed up. So if you're getting into a double bottom scenario to continue higher, you could find support even off of this 706 trapdoor. If we continue lower here, we could do one last shallow C leg into here and possibly rip out without breaking this down to here. Started to get a money flow divergence here on the quantum level, and then get some quantum level momentum shift to the upside. Two minutes until market open. Eyes are dry right now. Should contemplate taking out my contacts and switching to glasses right now. Pretty dry. Coming back to the value area low, let's go ahead and share where we're at in the ATAS platform here. So you have some Value area low at 393, VWAP at 409, point of control at 435, value area high 446, and session delta shifted to negative after this rip to the downside, and we're possibly retracing into a C leg. Slight market structure shift on the 30-second here, coming back above the 236 with less than 1 minute until the market opens. We have 2000 in sell side delta. This is what this little purple batch is. We are negative 2K in the session delta imbalance for sell side imbalance here. Previously we're generating some buy side, and you would have seen these double tops at the value area high and lower session delta, insinuating some bearish divergence over that drift to the upside. So are we going to get, we have about 2K and 2K while making a lower high, so this could go eat into the sell side by having a divergence there, a C level bullish divergence on the session delta right now. This little footprints chart is the we're open, is the ATAS platform. Link is also in the description for that 14-day free trial. We're at the bearish trend base fib, our bearish super trend on the 1 minute, starting to break above it. Just flip the trend. Do we close a candle above this region? The equilibrium at 402 for the impulse to the downside here. So far the open has been clean bounce off of that cloud. We wicked down into the cloud after shifting it here on the 1 minute. Starting to see this cloud bounce right off the open. Yesterday was very similar, where it started right off the cloud and bounced. So starting to get that rejection of the super trend, insinuating the C leg. This could be the pivot. Do they do it right off the bat like that or is it chop mode? Yesterday was very clean trading right off the bat. They didn't really pivot and chop around. Day before yesterday on Tuesday was more choppy, I guess, because the bank was closed on Monday, so they made false move Monday continue into Tuesday, at least in the open time. Let me go ahead and move over to here. Now 1000 imbalance in the sell side as we came up into the value area high. Took out some of these contracts. 400 in buy side generated here. Now they're generating some sell side. We'll just try to make back that little bit burst there. Took that for a quick 20 ticks. Made back some of the first loss there. So fast, can't even explain it. Back at the settlement line here. We're coming back to that cloud and confirming the cloud though on the 1 minute. 4 minute now bursting up. I don't want to trade against that 4 minute right now, so let's go ahead and take this possible burst into the negative 800 contracts of sell side here. How high do they burst above it? Basically coming back above this 236 and the cloud here. Are we getting wicks off of this adaptive on the 30-second and the equilibrium. We came back to the equilibrium of the impulse to the downside. Are we going to go higher than that, or is that a second tap to continue lower? I think that stopped me out. It did. So 1 for 3 thus far. Not trying to play as hesitant or as theorizing about larger plays like we did yesterday. We're just trying to go with the flow here. Starting to get a rejection off this 50 SMA to the downside angle here on the now flat 16 bar chart. Coming back to a point of control at 390. 390 point of control. As more contracts enter, it brings this point of control down to where the trading is happening now. 1000 minus negative delta in the sell side imbalance, creating this chop zone today. In the last 4 minutes, you're getting less. So they're accumulating the contracts. That was negative 357 sell side taken back in the last 2 minutes down here, and now they're back to accumulating some buy side to rebalance that. Saw it break above this range, so I just took whatever ticks it was going to give, using the very tight stop zone, trying to get back some of that on the previous full hit that we just took, and we did. So that is 2 for 4, 50% now. Starting to come back to the VWAP here. 461 buy side taken, coming back above 50 SMA, accelerating into some sell side here. People flipping, that sell side is people peeling off their long profits and or slipping into shorts just above the VWAP. Oof. Two for 5. That was a loss. Hold on, gotta let my cat out. Wait, that hit. There we go. Starting to break up above the adaptive here. And this 4-minute has been pretty clear in terms of it coming possibly higher here. Negative 270 in sells entering here. Imbalance in these last 2 minutes. Coming back into this 30-second cloud on the 30-second and the 1 minute now crossing down. Bearish divergence on the 30-second started to play out here on our multiple time frame oscillator. Rejection potential off of that equilibrium level once again. As they start to accelerate into the sell side. Back, the point of control shifted down to here, 390. We're coming back to kiss the point of control. Took about 600 contracts in that last 2 minutes. Now another 247 in sell side taken. We're at negative 2K in sell side inefficiency, sell side delta. Accelerating lower. Okay. So the bearish divergence and the cross down events on our oscillator are not to be trifled with here. I was trifling with them and just got stopped out. This cross down event on the 1 minute, not congruent play at all here. Rejection off of that cloud and the equilibrium for the continuation B wave to the downside. Do we get some acceleration here or not? Okay, so not trifling with this 236 here. Let's see if it... We are negative 3K in sell side, but they could have taken the buyers that got trapped in here for a ride. Let's see if they take it accelerating more further down to the downside here. Let's go ahead and post this link to look at later. .236 acceleration into C to see if it will do what it's going to do. Currently up 40 ticks on that. Coming back to a value area low level at 369. I think it's adjusting it in real time. Acceleration to the downside looks inbound with the baseline suppression. What do I mean by baselines? We have these cross down purple lines above the price here. If they can keep suppressing the price and turning them into wicks, it's like water trickling down a mountain as the momentum continues to show signs of weakness for the longs and possibly sweep into these lows. They've already swept this one. Can they continue the sweep down to the 53 region or not? Some mints from Japan. Spicy. Potentially crossing up the 30-second baseline, the first sign of abatement if it does close. Would like to see it accelerate further down here. We'll take the point of control rejection for the win. Let's see. Do you reject the point of control and come lower? They did reject the 50 here, so the play on the 16 bar is to the downside if it accelerates. In C we trust, to the downside. 236 for the win. Let's go. trying to make back some of this chop suey that took some out of me. Creating a bunch of buys here inside of these 2, 4, 6, 8 minutes of price action here as we drop, creating that sell side 3K into 2K flash for a minute. So they're trying to gather back some buys to continue a fuel perhaps of this rejection. Thirty-second baseline crossing up above the trend dot here, getting some bullish divergence. Money stack on the 30-second. Reclaiming the 1 minute 2. Have yet to break beneath the trend dots on the 4 minute. Like to see that acceleration continue, but looks like it's coming back above the, taking the sell side for a ride here. $627 buy side taken in that last 2 minute close. Coming back to the 236 once again. Bearish retest of the cloud perhaps. Not getting congruence if this closes with the baseline cross up. I like that it's still not crossing up on the 1 minute. They're doing their damnedest to just create indecision right now. Whoops. Hourly closes in 7 minutes. We did technically come to the higher point here, so let's go ahead and adjust this actually. To be clear, we are beneath the 236 of this actual retrace idea here. Hold on, let me make sure this, yeah, okay, it's the same. Boom, boom, boom. The first retrace does have that information though. There's something to be said by leaving the same information available. Surprising. Acceleration to the downside. Trap complete. Come on, let's keep going. Sweep it. In it to win it. Let's go. Come on. Sweet. Stopped out 471 in sell side with that drop there to 368. 2,000 sell side imbalance for the session as we approach the hourly candle close. Rejection off the cloud, rejection off the cloud, rejection off the cloud. Potential downside continuation afoot still. Getting some bullish divergence that's started to spike up into the buy side, but possibly coming a little bit lower is what we'd like to see sweep on this wick over here at 62 and possibly lower at the 0.65 in the 706 region. Don't want to trade against the cloud. The cloud is above you, you're basically bearish. So until we can break above the cloud and this 236 of the bearish trend base fib, I am short and expecting this C wave to continue down after the B consolidation. So we'll see. We will see. 2 minutes to the hourly close, and the hour of power is upon us. Switching over to some pomegranate water. Yummy. Chili. Getting cross up of the baselines here on the 1 minute and the 30 second, looking to burst the cloud. Purple cloud on the 1 minute is thin. Coming back above the trend dot on the 4 minute, we slowly drift down, but we can't seem to break this bearish trend dot with conviction to close there. 35 seconds till 1 more minute until the hourly close. Just doing their best to induce and scare out both sides here. Induce and scare, induce and scare. Back to the settlement lines. Induce and scare. Induce, seduce, reduce the position size. "46 seconds till the hourly close. Starting to curve up here. Not really liking it. Coming back to the 236 just as the hourly shifts. We're basically range trading this chop. Indecision on the 4-minute that closed there too. Starting to get a bull hammer. The indecision suggestive of a shift perhaps. Coming back to the super trend yet again. Not the super trend, the SMA on the 16. Alrighty then. So we have flipped the cloud in the opposite direction beneath the price on the 32nd here. The money stack was not as thick as it could have been. Cloud, this is just sideways chop here beneath the 236. Cloud on the 1 minute still bearish. 4-minute cloud still thick in purple. Momentum to the downside and volume to the downside. Rejection of the 50 SMA here on the 16 bar. I'd like to see a sweep of the 360s, and that would be about how she wrote. Money flying away on the 32nd here. Cross down event on the 32nd as well. A lot of fake signals on the baselines here for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 15 minutes of chop here from 41 to the hourly close. Reclaiming the cloud here on the 32nd. Possible shift. Just a hard read right now, but overall sentiment we're going with here is a rejection off the equilibrium twice and starting to drift back into some lows. They're giving the insinuations of upside. Momentum starting to shift here on the 32nd. Back above the 50. They're accelerating to the buy side here. back at the VWAP at 400. This is taking the 3,000 contract imbalance to the buy side now. Okay, so the basic play now was to the upside here, and this was using the cloud kiss reclamation on the 30-second. So they induced some shorts here on this 30-second chart. You saw this flippening of the baselines here, the trend cloud, and we reclaimed it. Started to get some acceleration in money stacks to the upside to reclaim some of the sell side imbalance, which was 2,000 contracts, now coming into 800, negative 800, as they give the sells a ride to the upside.
Fatality.
Some more shorts entered here for about 300 contracts there, giving more fuel at the value area high to continue higher here. Let's go ahead and see what is going on with the bullishness. Let's go ahead and flip the 4-minute to the dollar real quick. Dollar had a previous surge up as everything went sideways. Now the dollar's starting to pull back a little bit, giving reprieve. Bitcoin, our previous idea for the Bitcoin bounce, we were talking about it coming up into some pools up here. It started to make that way up, fatigued out, now creating a potential double bottom. Shout out to everyone here. Okay. So the baseline cross up here was holding the price action. We were talking about it coming back beneath these trend dots here, and it never got below the trend dots, insinuating that any short play is potentially dangerous. Going sideways here for those 1 minutes, coming back beneath the bearish trend dots, started to shift back up above it, and on the 30-second you had this curvature of the cloud here, the trend cloud, and the shift back to blue, and you had this rise retrace idea to the upside. Yesterday we caught that play quite nicely. Today we did not catch this one, but this was a pocket bounce from the golden pocket region. Let's go ahead and share this link real quick just for the long. Coming back to the weekly high here, accelerating quite fast now, giving the sells a bit of the scare here as they go and liquidate. Some of the longs peeling off their contracts here. 277 contracts peeled off into the buy side. Bullish. So they did this old ripperoo that they did from the Friday where they took it to the upside last week, was it? Yeah, where they dipped it down. The good old dolphin dip and then rip. Dolphin dip and rip. Dolphin dip and rip. Even here, this is a massive one. Dolphin dip and rip. So they dip into that sell side and then they rip it to the buy side thereafter. Trying to get some new highs out of it. Came back to the previous weekly high, 4 weeks ago high at 460. Coming back above the overbought regions of our oscillator here. Could create some bearish divergence at some point. Not trying to short this anymore just yet. So they created a massive indecision, but ultimately that rip off of that golden pocket break retrace was the play. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Came back into 710 sell side here at the value area high. Give me one more second here. Boom, we're back, sorry. Pulled back into a super trend 1 and 2 here, possibly pulling back to the SMA on the 400 level. Came back to the cloud on the 32nd. The retest of the range would be at that equilibrium from before at 403. Let's go ahead and draw a retest region for a larger possibility. This one can be deleted. 236 was not respected. Trend cloud bounce, cross up of the baselines on the 30-second, just taking it for what it's worth if it gives anything. If not, we will close. Bullish divergence. There we go, stops in profit. Toss came back the sell side, and then they refueled to 2K imbalance and then started to rip it back into 1000 sell side imbalance as the shorts get torn apart. Indecision on the 4-minute though could start to give you that tapering point if you double or triple top with the power of threes. Do you go into the higher highs again, creating some bearish divergence? Pardon me. Where's everyone today? I have 0 viewers. It's really weird. What's everyone up to? All right, we can mute the mic when we sneeze. That much we can do. Coming back into the water. 5 time frames overbought as per our diamond here. I'm going to try to edit. Let's try to do something cool here. We're going to try to make a new ATM strategy. Let's make it 44, 44, 44. And then we'll peel out 2, 1, 2, 3, yeah, 5. Make the profit target 21. And that's a runner with the adaptive stop loss. Just make it 100. Okay, so we'll start the stop loss at 44, profit trigger 21, and then we're just going to make the profit trigger 31, and then we'll make the frequency every 5. How about that? 5. It's weird that it overlays that. Call it the wide adaptive. So let's just see this really quick. Switch to sim, by the way, so I'm just testing out some stuff right now with the ATM strategy. I need to reset this so that so it takes 21 ticks, and then that gives you so that, and your total stop for the setup is 44. It's pretty decent. And we're coming back to VWAP here. Let's try to do a different, we're gonna make 2 more. Let's see, let's try to make another 7-pack one. 7-pack with like that one has like more of a wider thing going, right? That's like a wider strategy right there. So it allows you to manually observe it. Let's go ahead and take a look. Stop loss. Let's do one for 55. Let's do Okay, so let's try this and just see how the Fibonacci trail stop works. Because we're getting pretty decent at the scalping thing, so if you kind of like can cut off the stuff unscathed and take these smaller ticks to these promised lands, you can get these little bursts for a decent, a more decent amount out of this. So we're going to design this kind of adaptive stop that rewards and makes a winner despite having okay. So getting a cross-up event of the 32nd, looks like we came to an equilibrium level. Bullish level would be to just buy in at the equilibrium, but generally people look for a deeper retrace zone that stopped you out at break even. That was a decent little trail stop idea. Let's just try this now. Let's do, if it stops you out, you reverse. There is like a way to make a strategy like that with the stop loss, where if it hits your stop, it like reverses your position or something. That's like an advanced strategy, but I've never actually tried it. Sorry, let's go into the candles real quick. Back at the VWAP, bouncing off the VWAP. Bouncing off the VWAP. Once again, we're just testing out some ATM strategies. We're not actually like trading. We didn't see things properly and missed this move, so we're just chilling right now. We are putting ourselves in a timeout and testing some ATMs while we do it. The 55 level is pretty good in terms of like a stop loss thing. Anything above 55 ticks in drawdown is just like silly to me. So like the 55 level is about where you should have a threshold to kind of reassess your theory. Let's do the reverse thing. Where if it hits your stop, you just reverse. There was a time I tried that, and then I found this really cool strategy for that. So just have it reverse and just have it reverse and reverse and reverse, and then see if it's profitable. And then it's a good ATM if you can do that sometimes. I'm trying to find like thresholds for where it's like at least going to reward you for capturing the momentum to the maximum and then not giving back ticks and stuff. So yeah, I like that it doesn't follow every tick. I switched it to like 5 ticks, so it's kind of snappier. When it does move, it just definitively moves. And then so that peeled off like 5 contracts out of the 7, right? 2 runners kind of thing. It's pretty cool. Trying to get a feel for it. Every ATM strategy has their own like feeling behind how you capture, so you have to get acclimated to how to enter into the momentum and then see how the stop loss reacts. I was saying for the longest time I would design a better one with a better adaptive stop loss, so if you're watching, you're privy to that process. So now we're going to reverse the other way and see if we can capture some $30 the other way as the momentum shifts. There was one day when I was working on an ATM strategy and I was like I couldn't be wrong if you just reversed that as it hit your stop. So like whatever I put in the settings was like the algorithm of the day. And so if it comes down to here, then I just sell, and then if it goes so I would just like take 2 off and 2 off. I mean, granted, you're going to give it all back in commissions if it's a real thing, but it's at least a way to kind of test things out. Okay, so let's go into the momentum here. So we're starting to get a bullish divergence money bag on the money flow here as we come back above the cloud on the 1 minute. Indecision on the 4 minute, looking like it could cross at some time here. Hitting the 3 hits to the high would be the play for the power of 3s here. Ultimately, we are giving the sell side a run for their money into their buy side stop loss and or liquidation points. Once again, we are not taking these trades. This is just testing out ATM strategies, but trying to see the feeling for how to do the take profit zone. I want to see how, if it rips, like how the trailing stop loss allows it to breathe. I want a breathable yet basically, what's the word I'm looking for, like a breathable yet line in the sand level that is theoretically good for catching these bursts into some profit and then maximizing that risk, taking that risk off the table, but then leaving some to breathe. Cloud on the 1 minute starting to fade here. You could be getting a bearish retest of this cloud and an ABC to the downside here. It is the shift of the hour here, so are we getting that shift to the downside? Looks like an ABC perhaps. Coming down to that equilibrium would then break the equilibrium and then come down into these pockets. We already had a kind of small micro shift in structure here, so we came back to the equilibrium of that and we're starting to go down perhaps. If I just go to the regular chart and then just do this, starting to see that acceleration idea. Let's go ahead and turn this off really quick. Just put it like so. Huh? Said. And it did rip to the downside, ripped the dream for the longs. To look at later. Anyway, we came back down to that golden pocket level that did take some profits. Let's see how much it gave. Put us back in the green for that strategy, and then it would have stopped us out, so we just ride it back up, and then we just see if it gives a reversal bounce up at least to the 20 tick range. Did I set it to 20 though? I thought it was 21. That's weird. I thought this was all Fibonacci numbers only. It's like one less than I see, because it counts your entry as 0. So then it's like the Fibonacci number minus 1. So then it takes like decent amount and then rewards you and starts. Now we get to see how this, the jumping adaptive one, not the 1 by 1, works. Every 5 it's jumping up. Maybe I should make, well, 5 is a Fibonacci number, so maybe we could do every 8 or something. Interesting. Pretty good so far. Boom. And then it moves that up a little bit more, securing that runner's ticks. Makes the gap less. Basically assuring that the runner's going to get hit in the stop, and then if we go sell from that point, now we see if that's a decent pullback zone or not. Could I have let that runner breathe at that last point or not? If it goes back down to the target of a reversal entry, then it's basically a good place to have it trail up into, because oh yeah, it's pretty good. So even if it hits this stop and goes up higher, that was a decent place where you would have, you know, you're giving back from that point anyway, so it's better it hits your runner out. Interesting. ATM strategies are their own little science. They are indeed. And then this is just me going in on some ATM's experiments. And yeah, coming back to that, that came down to the cloud immediately, bounced off of that 6.5 region. Now coming back here. And then so if it hits this out for the minus 36, then we just do the long and then see what happens there. I'm just trying this ATM. All right. Looks like it's gonna fatigue to the downside though. This is just testing the stop loss potential too. Bounced off the 2-minute cloud here pretty nicely. We could keep going for this double bottom continuation idea too. So even if you buy breakouts, like this is like, even if you buy tops, like how well does this strategy hold? Is the 55 a good one? Like this is how you test it, just like enter at some ridiculous level and see how it holds if a narrative is still strong to go to the upside. And then how does the trailing stop loss develop? Does it kick you out too soon? Does it give you the full expression of the move? Like that's what I'm trying to do by just entering right now, testing the ATM into momentum like that. And I probably wouldn't have taken that much of a drawdown on that, but we'll see. It's a mighty hefty price to pay to be wrong there. Full 55 ticks. More than I'd be willing to take per setup generally. And you're bouncing off the cloud on the 2-minute. We're going to go into the time frames again here. You came back to that zone, you bounced off the 618 perfectly and went deep into the 0.66 even. For those institutional guys, the 1-minute cloud is curving here, which is what this curvature is, so you could get ultimately rejected, but you're starting to reclaim that 30-second cloud so far, and I think it just stopped that out. Let's go see on that sim. Oh, it stopped in profit, so it did take some profit. That was pretty good. So it even withheld that, what's it called? That buying the top idea. It still moved the stop and trimmed some, and I was still profitable on, or relatively profitable. I didn't take a full 55 to the face. Ultimately, I'm thinking this retrace is going to occur though, so yeah. Do you get the retrace back down here? Approaching the last 8 minutes, and then we're going to do this off stream. We didn't really get anyone to come into the live today. It's strange. Don't know what's up. Everyone must be busy. It's all good. Happens sometimes. Absolutely killed it in our Bitcoin predictions the last few days. So it rewards up to 21 ticks in your favor. It gives you, so you can get like 60 off the table right away, and then in total you get like what, 60, 100, 150. So you could get a full. If it's kind of like, I'm trying to get a breathable yet scalper friendly. Yeah, this is gonna be cool, but you definitely don't want to take that 55 tick face blow. You'd have to be like, it either accelerates from your entry or you kind of like cut it before it cuts you, kind of thing. And then it's 7 micros, so that's like 250 times 7 for the round trip on the commission. So 250 times 7, you're also like paying like 20 bucks for the commissions. So that could get a little bit expensive too. Decent. It's pretty decent. And then it comes back 14, so that would be basically break even now. This came back. Because it took like what, $20? No, you'd be like -8 for the trade. So it's like the risk is lowered. You're in profit now at the 20 tick range. It's automatically risk, basically almost break even. And then the 33 level knocks more off, risk off, and then you're basically in profit only. And it's a complete winner when it hits 33 ticks. So 33 is the number to hit. I like that number. And then we're going to reverse it here if it hits the stop. Just testing out the strategy here, especially in our choppy market. Like if you could do a choppy market with random entries being like profitable like that, it's like you're pretty on to something with the riding the momentum of just entering and then catching the waves. It's kind of like the waves of the ocean and just kind of bobbing above. And if your bobbing is still profitable, that's pretty decent. Because then if you're like able to catch those ticks with even more analysis involved, five minutes. So basically for the last like 20 minutes we've just been reversing the entire way, and we're just seeing how this ATM strategy we've been working on is working on a sim right now. So this would, if it hits, would be break even, and then we'll buy it and see what happens with that. Having the breathable runners plus reducing the risk off that, and then just going the other way and seeing what happens. Now that the wave is bobbing back up, so does it bob back up to a degree to make it profitable or not? I mean, ultimately this is why it's, you know, randomness is an element, but ultimately there's like a narrative that you should be following in sync with. So it moved my thing into, it didn't, I see, so it went up to my take profit, but didn't take the profit and move the stop. I'm trying to understand that. Wait, was my trigger 20 ticks instead of 21 or something? Was it 22? Because it should have peeled one off there, or 3 off, and then moved it, because then it makes my risk worse. That's weird. Getting some bullish divergence here. Oh, hey, someone's coming in watching. We're just working on some ATM strategies right now. We're just working on a sim trying to test out some thresholds for a adaptive trailing stop loss idea. So you're more than welcome to watch the end tests of that. So it moves directly into the profit, and it's popping up every 5. I like the 5 idea. That 5 previously was doing 1 1 1 1 1, and then that would trigger my accounts to go all haywire and wonky and get out of sync, and I'd have to flatten the copy trade. So I need a more stable yet breathable adaptive stop loss technique that lets the expression play out if it's going to be explosive, but not, and then if it's fatiguing, that I get I maximize but don't get kicked out prematurely, because my previous ones were a little bit too tight. Oh, what's going on here? And then we reverse, and then we'll test it. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's not the one I want. I want this one. And so we're testing what happens if it hits our stop in the adaptive form. Like, does it run at least 30 ticks down into that, so that it would be giving back profit to a degree that that stop loss trailing idea was good? If you can reverse from where it kicks you out in your trailing stop loss and then it's profitable, then you're on to something. So I'm not even like thinking about what's happening. It's just algorithmic in nature. So when it hits my stop, I just go back in the other side. And then just testing out this stop loss, we're up like $184 on the testing of this stop loss idea. This is not including commissions, obviously, because it's a sim right now, but if it comes back to hit my stop, we're going to go long. And then we're going to test this stop level being too, what's the word? Yeah, but it's allowing the expression to play out. I'm liking it. I'm liking how it allows more of the move to keep going, at least to a maximum level, to where if it's going to continue, it still breathes, you know what I mean? So it hit me out, so let's do one back in. And then we'll see how this one goes. So the hour closed. Let's go see what the hour is doing. It looks like it's going to probably retrace back down into this pocket, so longing there just because I got stopped out on that sim idea is most likely not wise, but we'll see. We're just testing the stop loss construction we're doing right here. We said for last week we'd make a better one that's more breathable. So let's yeah, that one's definitely continuing in the expression. So that means that the move still had more in it, and then I could have that stop loss was moving a little bit too fast. So if the 5 level reduced to every 5 ticks to like 3 every 3, but then would it be tighter, or every 8? I'll try a 8 one off stream. Well, ladies and gents, thank you for your time. We're doing a little bit different because we had less of an audience today. We were just testing out some stuff. So thank you for coming on into the live and sharing your essence with me in this eternal moment of which we all share an inextricable and inexorable part. Thank you for doing your part, for coming on in each and every day, and we'll do the same, bringing the fire, the accuracy, the precision, all that fun stuff, and we will catch you on the flip side for BTC's Asia update tomorrow. Peace.